Okay, here we have my LifeBook 2012. Finally! It took me a long time to get this done. It started in January of 2012 and it was supposed to be done on Christmas Eve of 2012, but here it is. It's July 4th and I am finally able to show you my completed LifeBook. Now, I say it's completed, but I'm probably going to come in again and fix the binding because, yeah, this is not working too well. You'll see when I'm trying to turn the pages. I'll try to edit most of that out. But anyway, so the cover, napkins, stays on ink pad over it, timber brown. And these embellishments we learned to do in the LifeBook course, and I loved that lesson. I really enjoyed making these, and I plan to make many more in the future. A lot of the LifeBook stuff I hope to get a chance to go back to. I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of detail because it was a paid class and, you know, we're not supposed to share that part. I did get permission to do this video where I do a flip through. So, here we go. LifeBook 2012. So this is book text, and then I sprayed some inks and stuff. And right here, but when I sprayed the inks, I wasn't careful enough and I covered it again. But that says Phoebe. I found my name in the book text, which was really cool. And just kind of random, so it was neat. And it happened on the back cover too. I'll show you when we get there, but it's neat. Okay, and so throughout the book I put stuff like this in it because each month we had a different theme. So weeks 1 to 5, the theme was celebration of inner positive qualities, and Tamara Laporte gave us some really cool artwork sometimes to print out, and so I did that. And this was a rainbow pin board thing, and I can't really bring it up close enough to the camera for you to see, but anyway, this is, well, here, I'll show you what it looks like now. Yeah, you can't really see it too well either, but anyway, this was the rainbow pin board, one of the lessons, but of course it wasn't an actual LifeBook page, so it didn't make it inside the book other than on this little tag thing I made. But anyway, okay, now, when I was making my pages, I didn't realize about the binding. I had misunderstood, and I thought that the binding method was going to allow me to write on the back or do stuff on the back of the pages too. So I wrote down notes and things on the back, mostly the date and the lesson and stuff like that. But when it came to binding, it turns out that we had to cover it up, scrapbooking paper and such, and some of the pages I couldn't just do that way because of the nature of it, and this was one of them. And so I made myself a pocket, and it ended up making the book huge because these are 9 by 12 sheets, so the book really should only have been a little bit bigger than 9 by 12, but it ended up huge because I had to make these pockets, and then I had to make the binding section, and anyway. Anyway, here's week 1. Had intended, you see these pockets? I made a pocket like that for each page, which is part of the reason why it took me so long to get the bind part done and to prepare the pages for binding. Because I made a pocket like this for each one, and I made these tags, and I intended to put these tags in the pockets, but silly me, I didn't make the pocket wide enough to allow for the glue so that this would still fit in there. So it only sort of fits. And so when I saw that, and since I had already written down all the info I wanted on pieces of scrap paper and stuffed it in the envelope, and those do fit in the envelopes, then after I think 7 of these, I ended up doing it like that, and then I used some of the tags for other things. But anyway, it's okay because the pocket is still good and the information is still there, and really that's all I need. Plus, I have this other book for notes and stuff, so this is all the course stuff while I was doing the lessons, the printouts and my personal notes about each lesson and how I felt and what worked and what didn't work for me, and stuff for mostly because when I do some of these lessons again, I wanted to remember, you know, notes to self type of thing. So this is almost as big as, well, okay, maybe not, but this is pretty big too. Week 2. Wow, this is going to be hard. I'm going to have to do a lot of editing. It's going to take me a long time. Oh well. Okay, and this is another pocket envelope thing. And my friend Dee Dee had sent me this when she sent me a big gift. She wrapped the gift inside this paper from her arting table, and that made a beautiful thing for my pocket for this. So this was a dream board. So we did that, and this is my dream board. And some of the things on the dream board came true. Okay. And this is one of my favorite results, but it was also one of the most challenging ones. Yes, it was great. This one actually had me stuck for a little while. And I had to make a pocket for it because, well, you'll see. So this is the main page, but it has stuff on the back. And so this was about duality, and well, for me, my interpretation was about duality. And yes, I drew those. Those are Phoebe birds. This is the regular Phoebe bird, and this is the black Phoebe bird. They exist. They're real birds, and I keep hearing them, but I have yet to see one, you know, out there in nature. I've seen them in museums, but I mean, those were, you know, not alive and stuff. I would love to see one in person and photograph it. So hopefully one day that will happen. And I kind of like the tag I did for this. That's a new stamp I have, the butterfly. I love the butterfly. This tag fit in there, but it's a snug fit, and it's not easy to get it in and out. So, and I can't really push it all the way in, but anyway. And week 4, it was an artist interview, so I just did a tag, an artist interview with Jane Davenport. Weeks 6 to 9 were celebration of achievements. I really didn't feel that I accomplished anything really in my life, and I'm 40 years old now, but anyway, so this one was a bit of a challenge too, but it was a good type of challenge. And sometimes I accidentally put the pocket upside down, but it's kind of neat, and it's so typical me that I just decided to go with it. And I mean, because of the tight fit, it's okay because they're not going to fall out. So I just realized that the sun is causing trouble here, so let me see if I can fix it. There we go, we'll try that. Oh, this was a surprise challenge during week 6. So that was an extra. Week 7, we created a page and then we let it go. It was an exercise in letting go, and that part of, you know, actually letting go of it was really hard. I made this little tag to commemorate it, and there was also a self-nurturing task in which we were to do a gratitude list, and I had actually made a whole book in order to keep gratitude lists every day in. Right. So I made this book. It's kind of hard to get into it because I don't really know about bookbinding and such. I had like big plans for it too, but like many other projects, it got put on the back burner because I had a lot of other projects on the go and such. But that's the cover, and this is intended to be a gratitude journal. Celebration of your impact on others and their impact on you. I got stuck on this for so long, and I fell so far behind because I don't like to go ahead and do things. One reason I don't like doing that is because if I do that, there's a good chance I'll never get back to the, you know, the one that has me stuck. But anyway, I eventually got it done, and I got some help from Tam and stuff. It was extremely challenging, but it was the good kind of challenge. It's the kind of challenge that actually makes a difference to me and stuff. And also, this is to say that week 9 was a artist interview with Tracy Verdu. I really enjoyed the interviews. Yeah, they were great and inspirational, and I could relate to a lot of what they were saying in the interviews. Okay, and this one, I have to be careful because I had to make a little slit there in my pocket so that that would fit through. And so I do love the page, like the results, but it was really difficult to do. So this side is people who've had positive impact on me, and this side is positive impact I've had on others, and well, there really weren't that many in comparison, but I did eventually find a couple. Anyway. Okay, and that had the honor of having a Skype session. Actually, I had 2 of them with Tamara. Tamara Laporte is the one creator of LifeBook. There are several different teachers that participate. And anyway, I had the privilege of having a couple of Skype sessions with Tamara, and so I did a page dedicated to that because, especially on the first one, I felt so starstruck, I guess that's how it felt, because she's so awesome, and she's like a really wonderful person. And anyway, I was very grateful. Thank you, Tam, if you're watching this. Thank you so much for those. They were really helpful and really good. And I'm getting teary-eyed, so I'm going to turn the page now. And then we had some fun with some stencils and a beautiful message from Tam that I just wanted to keep. That also makes me teary-eyed. So yeah, this is... I love the pages that do that you open up and they're interactive like that. This was challenging as well. There's something about watercolors and me that we just don't get along. But the technique was really cool and neat and interesting and different. I ended up doing this twice, and so this is the second attempt. And if I open this, you'll see the first attempt on the back of the... Okay, and so yeah, that was the first attempt that I ended up... Oh, I guess I ended up covering it up after all, because I hated it that much, I guess. But anyway, this pocket contains a bunch of positive messages that you've received, or compliments and such. And binding this was an extra big challenge too, but I managed. Week 13 was a Q&A session with Wyan. She's here on YouTube if you're interested. She does a lot of really cool watercolor and encaustic and stuff. And then there was a new theme type, honoring. And this weeks 14 to 18 we're honoring your past. This represents Helen Keller. Anyway. And that's a picture of me when I was a baby, toddler. I really enjoyed this, so I did more than one, and I wanted to do like several, but I also wanted to get on to the next lesson, so I only did, I think, 2 of them. Definitely want to do more of this in the future. And this was practice with, that's charcoal. And I did another one, this was for week 16. And then this is the actual lesson for that. It's really cool. Yeah. Stitched and all the things from my past, and like toys and music. And this was cool. Laying down the foundation of your past. Self-portrait in colored pencil. Week 18 was an artist interview with Effie Wild. She's the one who is doing Book of Days, Bod Premium, which is what I have won a seat in, and I've only just started the boot camp, but it's wonderful so far. You really should check it out. And then weeks 19 to 22, we're honoring your present. All about an exercise about focusing and what you were actually feeling at the time and stuff. I really enjoyed this lesson, so I did a few of these. And this is another one I want to do lots more of it. But I don't know if I'll ever get to it, but anyway. Art is an adventure that never seems to end. Jason I can't pronounce that. Art doesn't have to matter to a lot of people to matter a lot. I really like this. That's by Jeb Dickinson. Art, like morality, consists in drawing the line somewhere. G.K. Chesterton. Every artist dips his brush into his own soul and paints his own nature into his pictures. By Henry Ward Beecher. This page almost didn't make it into the book. I took it in and out several times, and then I decided, okay, just leave it. And then I did another page that I like a lot better. I loved the lesson, and I want to do it again. Yeah. So yeah, this is the one that this worked better. I love this one. It's cut out, so there you go. I love this. This is my favorite photo of myself that my sister took of me many years ago. So it was great to find a use for it. Then I did another one, and I like this one too, but I misspelled Athala. How can I do that? And then I tried to fix it and I misspelled it again because I put the H at the wrong place. I'm so silly sometimes, but it's so typical me, and I love the page anyway, so yeah, bet you I just left it. Weeks 23 to 26, we're honoring your future. I love this, and I want to make many, many, many more butterflies using this method. Yeah, I can't really turn it just because the book is so huge, heavy, and awkward that it's not easy to show you that. And this was fun. This was blob art. What I call intuitive painting. So all kinds of critters in there. And I wish I could bring it up closer so you could see better, but Effie Wild's lesson, or one of them. This was, I think, an exercise in whimsy, or, yeah, I can't remember quite, but I love the owl. Yes, Juliet Crane. This is just awesome. And this was fun. The Eagle Shaman. And then lesson on flower painting. This was fun. And this should have been at the beginning of May, but yeah, I was so far behind that I did this in June instead of in May. So it's a calendar in which you did a little thing for each day of that month. Then weeks 27 to 31, we're healing your inner critic, which is a challenge because my critic is pretty active. But anyway, I really love this page. This was with Tracy Verdugo. They're kind of neat. And there's some more over there. A lot of self-portraits in this. Different methods of making them. Week 30 there was going to be an interview with Connie Hosvika from Dirty Footprint Studios here on YouTube and her website. They weren't able to do that in the end, but that's okay. The inspiration behind this picture was Lady Gaga on the cover of a magazine, but it's not meant to look like her exactly. It's just that's what the reference photo was. Hope Fairy with Adriana, the Doll Dreams lady here on YouTube, but I think she's not doing the Doll Dreams anymore. But anyway, I loved that lesson. Now this was a transfer from a transparency sheet, and I don't know what it is, but I cannot make those things work for me. So I ended up just gluing the whole thing down. It's not a transfer like it was supposed to be. It's the actual thing. But anyway, I still enjoyed this lesson. And my doors here caused me some challenges too. But Week 33 was a healing doll. I really love this. I had to improvise. I did mine more of a paper mache type method. She was using paper clay, which I do want to try someday. I have longingly looked at it at the Michael's store every time I go in there, but it's too expensive for me to buy without knowing if I'm going to use it enough to, you know, justify the price. So, yeah, anyway, so this is my version of the doll. And I really enjoyed that. And so, yeah, I made a tag about that. And so weeks 32 to 35 are healing childhood traumas. I really enjoyed this and I like my results. Weeks 36 to 39 were healing and intuitive work. I love intuitive stuff. Mandala, kind of a freestyle version. And this works better for me, way of doing it, than the actual one where you actually use protractors and, you know, measure, and that is just too specific and precise for me. Although I love the results of doing those, I mean, they're beautiful products, but I don't really enjoy the process of making those. Week 37 was an artist interview with the wonderful Juliet Crane, or revisited the dream board thing, and so this was my version of it. This was a lesson with Connie Hosvika, Fearless Painting. This was intuitive work. I did some mandalas with Guadalupe. And yeah, Guadalupe's mandalas, you do it, they're real ones. Like you actually measure and make it good. And this one I decided to cut stuff out, and I kind of like the results. I mean, like I said, I love the product. It's just that I don't enjoy the making of them so much. Weeks 40 to 44 were celebration of where you are now. This, you used fabric and stuff, and it was a challenge for me just to find fabric to use and stuff, but it was fun. It was a good, fun page. I spent a long time making this, and I really liked the results. And I actually liked how it looked on the back too, but then I had to cover it in order to bind it. I suppose I didn't have to cover it all, because, you know, I could have covered just part of it. But anyways, then we had a lesson on scallop borders with crochet, and that was exciting for me because I really love crocheting, but all I know how to do is a granny square. And so that I made a page about that. I had a little bit of trouble with it because it was curling and not scalloping too well and stuff, but then eventually, with some help from the teacher, Bonnie Rose Bryan. And this is with Samantha Kira. Anyway, week 43 was an artist interview with Jody O. Celebrating with whimsies. I've always had trouble with the whimsy aspect of things, cartooning and such, but this was fun and I think I did okay. And then weeks 45 to 48 were celebration of any changes you've made, and you know, she thought that if you thought you hadn't made any changes, that was okay too, which is good. I love this page. I really love this page. Romani. And I love mermaids, and so I was so excited when I saw this lesson from Jane Davenport. Oh my goodness, I loved this, and I want to do lots and lots and lots of these mermaids. Hopefully I will get a chance to one day soon. And I've always admired Adriana's doll dreams, and so I was also excited when I saw this lesson. There was a PDF available, but I didn't use it. I drew my own, but it looks very, very similar. Okay. Week 49 was the binding of the book, but because my book is so huge, and my rings were not big enough. I could not bind it the way that Tamara bound hers. Or I tried to, but it just didn't work. So then I tried several different binding solutions, and in the end I did this, but I need to figure something else out. Now Franklin came home last night and he gave me an idea, but I'm not sure exactly how to execute it, so yeah, hopefully that'll work if I get to it eventually. But anyway, and weeks 49 to 52 were a celebration of you. You've grown, changed, connected with your inner divinity. This was a watercolor painting, and I really didn't like this one, but I decided to leave the page in there, and I really like this embellishment, so I thought maybe if I put that there it'll fix it. And well, it didn't really, but it's okay. So then I did another watercolor that I felt was more me, and I like this result a lot better. And then I did one more, a small one, and I kind of like this one. And this one, there's a fairy there. I love this lesson. Yeah, we did a self-portrait as a mystical or magical creature. And so I love mermaids, so I did myself as a mermaid. And I love the pop dotted effect. And that wasn't good enough. I had to do another one. So I also did myself as a fairy. The wings were supposed to be red, but they came out more kind of a magenta, but I still like it. And I like the tree. That's book text. And then there was a big goodbye PDF, but it was like way too big to print out and stuff, so I just did this little tag about that. And this is another little tag about the dream board, how my dream board looks now. And on the back cover, that's a napkin that I put on and left it simple like that. Oh yeah, and see on the back cover my name is there again, and this one didn't get covered up so badly, so you can still read it. So there you go, there's my life book.